This podcast is sponsored by Relevant. It's a new iOS app to consolidate the media you want to see in a place you control. With Relevant, you stay up to date with things you're actually interested in. You tell Relevant what's relevant to you, and you'll be given all the content you love from all across the internet, all in one place. It's available on iOS devices and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
We're live.
Hey, what's up? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast. I'm Chandler Davis. We're here.
Am I muted?
No, you're good.
On. Why would I mute you?
And we're here at the WXLV, the X radio station at El Tracy.
The world has ran out of intro music. We're all out, everybody. I don't know what we're going to do.
It's a global crisis.
No, we actually don't have internet for some reason.
What?
Which is weird.
Because they're renovating the station, they took all of the music out until they're finished with the renovations. So,
yeah, it's working on charity now for music charity. They just donate a song or two.
Storm, can you do Deep In live for us?
Yeah, we do it. Can you acapella Deep In right now?
I don't actually remember it.
You don't remember your own song? Good.
I have it on SoundCloud.
You do that.
All right. Well,
No, wait. Maybe I don't.
okay, well, that's fine. So, who else is here? I don't think you guys even said.
my name is Coffee Guy. Thanks for stopping by.
Did you work all week on that?
Yeah.
That's good. I like it. My name's Patrick Lilly.
Did you work all week on that?
Oh, got you.
Going on 20 years at this point.
And we have a special guest today. That's Storm Hutchinson.
Don't do that to us. Come on, man. How you doing? You look great.
Storm the intern is here.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Storm is no longer quit the show. He's back full time. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's not at all. This actually might be the last show that you're on ever. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah. Because where are you going after this? You're not coming back
I have
to El
this
Tracy?
issue of coming into people's lives and then leaving.
That's what my dad did.
All right. Well, I don't know what to do with that.
Where are you going?
We're off to a great
We're
start.
going to a commercial break now. I'm just kidding. Where are you going after this? Like, what's your plans?
I have a job.
Okay.
And I'm
Same
going-
one you mentioned last time?
Yes. I started on Monday, and I'm terrified.
Why? Because it's just high stakes.
Yeah.
Like, this is the real deal,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like a real job.
yeah.
Real money. Salary.
Your salary?
Salary.
Yeah.
Why? How did you get that job?
How did we get a podcast?
That's true.
Same answer, man.
By luck.
I actually applied for a position that didn't exist yet. And then I got the position that didn't exist yet.
You persuaded them that there was a position that they needed?
Kind of. Like, they already had a main idea, and then I just swooped in.
Oh, I see. Dude, don't eat my Chex Mix.
We shouldn't be eating at all.
Here's the problem. I'm going to take these away. Take these away from him. Here's the problem. I am very hungry today. I went to the caf at the college to get some food. Zach and I both wanted to get food. And it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the time. The caf is just closed. It's just closed. Like, it's finals week, which is scary enough.
Right.
And now they're trying to starve us out? What's up with that? What's going on with that?
They have finals too, man. All right.
The people that work at the cafe?
The
Yeah.
kitchen final.
The kitchen
It's
final.
a travesty.
Like, I'm so hungry, and so my lunch so far has been Chex Mix
Oh.
and a Rockstar. You got real lunch. Don't awe me.
Yeah, that's because I went during lunchtime.
Hey, well, we had a shoot during lunchtime.
Why
To be
would-
fair, Ryan Flynn did inform us it was lunchtime.
He did
He
several
did.
times. He really tried to drive that home.
Yeah, we had lunch together. It was a great time.
How was it? Talk about your boy Ryan Flynn now, since you guys are best friends instead.
I don't know. We had a good time. We ate paninis.
That's a very Ryan. Was that his choice?
No, it's mine.
Oh wow, that's a
No,
curveball.
Ryan's
invited
choice
you,
is the
and you didn't
buffalo
come.
chicken wrap. Just to clear that up.
You're too cool for me.
No, we had the reason we couldn't have lunch with you is because our good friend Caddy McAuliffe, that you know, Storm,
Yeah, I
very
know her.
well. Rebellious One Photo. She had a photo shoot she
Not
was doing.
rebellious, too.
She had a photo shoot she was doing, and she needed models. And for whatever reason, she.
Why are you taking that from me? That was a bad joke. I was ringing myself.
It just needs to be on my side. I'm the keeper of the bell, I think.
I didn't know that's how it worked. Yeah, there's a little Christmas bell now we have. Oh, get some good Foley you're getting.
This is painful. Oh my God.
But yeah, so Caddy needed models. I don't know why she let us do it because we're not. I mean, that's why we're on the radio.
Yeah.
That's why we do an audio podcast. Because we're not really photogenic, right, Josh? Josh is here on the camera.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Josh is gone. Thanks for coming by. Have a nice day at work. Committed. Okay.
So another sick perk about being on the radio, I think, and being down where we are, we just found out today, is we get some cool merch. We just got these sunglasses, WXLV branded sunglasses. They're super lit. They're orange.
I can stare right at these lights and doesn't
Are
even.
there any giveaways?
No.
There is now. Come on down.
No.
The WXLV gets your sunglasses. I'm just kidding.
Second caller gets free sunglasses.
Yeah, call. You call my cell phone. And
My girlfriend calls me.
Oh yeah, she's listening right now, isn't she?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
So sorry. What's her name?
I'm not going to tell you again.
All right.
All right.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
Is that actually how you pronounce it?
Yes.
That's a lot of syllables.
Elizabeth.
It's the same amount of syllables as Elizabeth.
That's
It's
like
three.
three.
Yeah.
Stop clapping.
Yeah, clap sync it. But anyway, did you guys enjoy the photo shoot with Caddy?
Yeah, trespassing was fun. It was a good time.
It wasn't
You didn't
trespassing,
trespass.
but I know there are some rules about going to public places such as stores and taking photos a lot, which is where the settings were.
Right, yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah. We won't mention any names, but
Walmart.
they were cool.
Not Walmart.
Like all the employees, everyone saw what we were doing. Nobody actually cared at all. It was not. Caddy was using interestingly enough, she was using a film roll camera, an old timey like film camera, and to take all the pictures. And so it wasn't really like, it wasn't easy to quickly take these pictures. There's a bit more time that needs to take place before the picture can be taken with those.
So
kinds of
I had to
cameras.
like position myself to block what was actually going on so nobody saw it while she like revved up the camera.
Yeah, she had to hand crank it,
Yeah, there
and
was
she
a-
had like the blanket over her head.
There was a ripcord. It was weird.
But you know, it was really fun. I've actually never shot.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I've never shot with. You were invited.
Oh, it wasn't.
All right. Well,
Patty made it very clear I was not invited.
I don't think she said that. But no, it was a really good time. I've never used or done a shoot with a camera like that before, and I've always been really interested in like film, like even though it's a pretty dying art form or dying medium, I should say, that people aren't utilizing as much. So it was interesting to do a shoot
That's
in
like
that
saying
fashion.
people don't drive old cars anymore.
And typically they don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, see, we ran into we came full circle as to why film shouldn't be used anymore, and it's we wanted to take a cool picture, but we were out of film. Like we realized we were out of film, and that's not something that I have encountered.
That's like running out of like gun ammo in a war.
Gun
Like-
ammo.
Like, well,
That's true. That's
Crap.
exactly what it's like. Because photographers,
yep,
man, they're warriors.
Just what it's like.
They're soldiers out there. Caddy
Yeah.
McCall's out there every day on the grind at concerts. She's doing great.
She really is actually, yeah.
Yeah.
She is on the grind.
I think we want to have her back on the show sometime soon to have like kind of the where are they now kind of thing, because she was one of our first guests that we had.
She's shooting Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah,
right?
she's shooting
That's
Kendrick
crazy.
Lamar at Firefly this summer. That's
crazy.
crazy. To go from her, you know, when she was on the show, she's like, yeah, I think it'd be cool to shoot bands. And then she's like, yeah, I'm shooting Kendrick Lamar. That's crazy.
Well, he's not a band, so.
Shut up.
That's a good point. She's nobody,
Yeah,
is
she
she?
still has to shot bands. I
No, she shot a lot of bands.
don't know.
She just shot Oliver Tree, which is super lit. I'm a
I
huge
don't know
fan
who that
of them.
is.
They're
What
cool.
kind of music is
Go look
that?
them up. It's weird. I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it. It's kind of rap. It's kind of like,
Is that the genre? Weird.
yeah, he's very weird. I recommend you give him a Google. Watch some of the videos he's in with Churdleys. You know Churdleys, right, Storm?
Yeah.
I think you are the one that recommended him to me.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw him, and he's really fun. I'm a huge
And
fan.
his fun. And his friend Loff, also very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He does those interviews with people. He did it.
But strange people, like he did one with a flat earther.
Yeah.
He did one with well, some things I can't say, but like interesting.
You know, me, you, and Mason were having a conversation the other day, and you said you were starting to believe the flat Earth conspiracy.
Well, it's not that I'm starting to believe it. It's just they're so persuasive. Like, they truly believe. As persuasive speakers, they're just good.
Are you sure?
No, just like from a unbiased standpoint, they're persuasive.
What do you mean?
You're saying if you just turn your brain off and you're listening to them, you start to go like, he's talking pretty confidently. And like, I'm starting to, okay, well, I kind of understand.
I mean, there's a theory. It's like narrative-driven communication. People who tell stories and like talk about, you know, how they believe in conspiracies, and it's not logic-based. It's interesting. I mean, the theories they have are so off the wall. Yeah. It's actually fascinating. I'm like, why? How?
It is interesting when they're like, all right, I'm going to give you a scenario, and that's the basis. And you're like, all right. And then once you like, I don't know, this is really weird.
So if they lay out a scenario, right? They lay out a scenario, and I'm like, yo, that does fit the scenario.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're talking about the Earth being flat.
Yeah,
I know. That's why I'm bringing it up, is that it's so strange that they do persuade people.
You're saying it's strange because to even have that slight moment of being like, that is like crazy. Because you know how not right they are.
They're just wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, whoa, that's a good point. And it doesn't make me an idiot. It's just fascinating.
I think so. Yeah, psychologically, I think it's pretty fascinating. Just the study of, you know, just human communication, like on that basis. I've been watching a lot of like Jordan Peterson.
He's a really smart guy.
I've been watching just straight videos of him lecturing and stuff, or like him on like the Joe Rogan Experience and
People
stuff.
get so upset with it, and he's just like this normal dude talking about stuff.
He's just very well read.
Yeah, people make fun of him, but I'm like, just listen to him a little bit.
He's a great communicator, I think. There's a lot you can learn just from listening to him talk and how he handles people in like debates, especially argumentative debates and stuff. I think he's really cool.
SJWs get upset and he just stands there awkwardly.
Yeah. He's just really good at diffusing, really good at persuading.
What's your views on flat earthers? Do you think they're persuasive in any way?
I don't listen to flat earthers, so I don't know. Like, I haven't looked up these videos.
How curved is the Earth in your opinion?
Curved enough.
That's a good stance.
Curved enough.
That's a pretty neutral stance, actually. I was surprised.
What are you trying to say?
He's not that convinced. He's like, it's pretty curved. I don't know.
I mean, I've never seen the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, man. You can't.
Well, you can.
No,
you can. Like, you can get high enough in the air that you can.
Isn't the Coriolis effect and stuff like?
What?
Isn't that like
clear
indication of? All right.
No, that's made up.
Well, the only thing that I run into is like, why hasn't anybody just like tried to like go off Antarctica and try and fall off the edge? That's where I run into my thing. I was like, well, why hasn't any flat earthers just tried to find the edge?
It's a wall. At least the thing I saw was.
No, it's not a wall.
No, there's.
It's the dome. It's the dome.
This is different. There's two ice walls, like Game of Thrones ice walls. Around where Antarctica would be, it's just ice walls. And then there's another. What? We're still talking about flat Earth.
Josh is so upset.
So let's say you're sailing south. I think it's. I forget if North Pole or South Pole doesn't exist. I forget. But anyway, you're sailing one of those directions.
It's the South Pole.
South Pole, okay.
Yeah.
So you're sailing south, and you just hit an ice wall instead of Antarctica.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But then
I'm sorry.
There's another like realm outside there where it's like islands, where it's like.
Yeah.
That's where like the first people were or something. What? Then past that, there's another ice wall.
What?
And off that is the edge of the Earth.
But that's not the popular opinion, sir.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No.
Have you seen the pictures?
It's the dome. The dome is the popular opinion.
I've seen the dome. If you Google, I know the internet might still be down, but if you Google like pictures, like flat Earth pictures, there's mostly a lot of images that depict a giant space sea turtle carrying 3 giant elephants on its back that are on their backs holding the flat Earth. That's an actual thing.
That's a fact, though.
And it's a recurring theme.
That's from
You don't hang out with the intellectual flat earthers.
You know, I don't think that's a flat Earth thing. I think that's something else.
Yeah.
I know, but I think it's funny that if you're Googling that, comes up. So, but it's like clearly tons of different artists and like slight variations, but it's the same thing every time. I'm just like, where did this come from? And that's what I mean, personally, I'd feel a lot safer if I knew that the world was being propped up by a sea turtle and 3 giant elephants.
Depends on the turtle.
Okay, so I have some really cool conspiracies about sports. Can we?
Hey, no, not yet.
Hey, that's the next segment.
That's segment 2, and that's only segment 2.
I have 12 minutes before I have to go.
What?
How? Where do you have to be?
All right, whatever. We're going to a break then.
We'll be right back to the Flat Earth Podcast.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
And we're back. And we apologize if you couldn't hear the last commercial break, but that was kind of your fault. I think that's on your end because everything sounds fine for us. So, I mean, if it was silent, we had some new silent ads we're rolling out. But, yeah, I don't know. More visual than auditory.
Very insightful. I liked it.
Yeah.
All right, now we're throwing this over to Storm because you have like 10 minutes to talk about whatever you want.
Here's a very exciting segment.
Are we really giving him 10 minutes?
We're giving him as much time as he wants.
All right.
Storm's got a special segment prepared. Throwback.
We're going to talk about the NBA and some sports talk.
All right.
Talk into the mic, please.
Can I chew into the mic?
So the NBA playoffs are going on right now, and I have discovered a conspiracy that means that LeBron wins everything. So here's the conspiracy. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
The NBA knows it makes more money if LeBron James continues on in the playoffs because he's the big cool shot. And is Coffee Guy sleeping?
Yep.
Okay. So the way they make it work is they put magnets in the basketball hoop and magnets in the ball. And so when it's like a critical shot, what they'll do is they'll like nudge the ball one way or the other. Now, I don't believe in this at all, but it's just a theory about how like, because basketball is just like tiny margins. If you just move the ball a little bit one way or the other, you can make or miss a shot.
That's sports.
Yeah, so if they really wanted to, they could just have a technician like just inch the ball one way or other during critical shots. Me and my parents had a really in-depth conversation about
I
this.
expected more. You were really hyping this up.
Well, it's like it's logical. It makes
No, it
a
doesn't.
little bit of scientific sense. No, it's okay.
It
It doesn't
It's
literally.
possible
That's
is
what I'm
what
trying to
he's
say.
saying.
Where are the magnets? In the backboard?
In the hoop.
That doesn't make sense.
How does it not make sense?
What do you mean?
It's in the basketball hoop. The rim.
Okay.
You stuff it in there.
Pat does not know what a basketball
No,
rim is.
Wait,
okay?
stuff a magnet in
Wait, so you're
what
saying-
rim? The rim's made of metal.
Exactly.
What if
You
it's
put
not?
it inside of the rim.
What if it's
That's
one
a
big
lot.
magnet?
Wait.
No, duh. It's a lie.
So if I
it's a
choose-
No, I
conspiracy
said that's
theory.
a lot of like work.
Exactly. But they have billions of dollars. They can just do it if they want. All they need is 30 of those specialty hoops. 60, because there's 2 on each court.
That makes sense.
But like, if they wanted to,
It's like guys are playing this.
they can. If they can put someone on the moon, they can figure this out if they wanted to. Like, you know what I mean? It's plausible.
No, I'm not disagreeing that it isn't. But I would say to put it in the ball, that would make the ball heavier. That would affect everybody's shots all
Yeah.
the time.
But yeah,
'Cause they're
but
used
again,
to a
if we can
certain
put
weight.
someone on the moon, we can put a magnet that does this.
You
Well,
said
but
it the first time and I was on board, but now the second time.
Listen. The magnet in the ball doesn't have to be as powerful as the one in the hoop.
Do they
Yes, it
not
does.
ever give away balls? Like the basketballs
Not
from
really,
games?
no.
Okay.
What about when I go to Target and it says NBA
Well-
official on the
Well,
ball?
the
See,
thing
Zach's
is
a baseball
nobody
guy.
would notice
And Zach
because
thinks
it's
that
so
still happens.
small that it doesn't add the weight. And if it does add weight, you take some of the skin off around
But-
the edges.
It has to be a powerful magnet for it to
No,
actually have an effect on
no,
the ball.
it just-
no, it does.
No, the one around the rim is powerful. The
don't
one
think
in the
magnets
basketball.
work.
Huh?
I don't think that's how magnets work. Like, it has to...
It's the same way that those roller coasters do where they turn it on and off.
Yeah, but if the
They-
magnet's weak, it's not going to react
No,
as
the
much.
one on the rim is strong.
They both have to have some
No.
strength to them.
No, because the small one will react to the bigger one in a more powerful way. Not both of them have to be big.
Both of them have to be a certain strength.
No.
No? So you have the weakest magnet in the world?
No, it doesn't have to be weak. It just has to be...
Who's controlling this, by the way?
There's only a select few people who know what's going on.
Are
It's
you
like-
one of them? Did you
Yeah.
see something?
LeBron's dad.
Did you... Did you like get lost in like a stadium once and you
Backstage.
just found like the secret room where you just had like magnets on the door? You're like, I wonder what's in there.
Not in the door. Why would the magnets be in the door?
You know what we should do?
It says magnets.
That would be ridiculous.
We should get Caddy to start getting into NBA and sports photography, so we can get a man on the inside. And
Didn't
she
she
can be
just do a
poking around.
Phantoms game?
Well, she always shoots the Phantoms.
There's
Really?
no magnets in hockey, Zach. Come on.
Yeah, there's no
The
there's
puck
no
is
magnets.
just a big magnet, and
That
it just
would make
goes into the
sense.
net.
yeah.
And they put magnets in the water that they freeze on the court, and then
It's magnet
I mean,
water.
magnet
That's
water.
how they stay on the ice. They don't fall down ever.
That's a good point.
I mean, when I tried ice skate, I fell over.
Yeah, how many times have you fallen down on the ice?
I cannot see. Here's the thing about hockey, right? Anyone can go out in their yard and like throw a football around or like throw baseball or something and play catch. But like you can't like the thing with hockey. Like I used to play some street hockey a little bit when I was younger, but that's about it. But like for hockey, I cannot imagine like playing the sport itself and the rules of the sport and the exertion of the physical exertion for that sport are enough work. But on top of that, for hockey, you have to be good at ice skating to the point where people like shoving into you and things like that are happening, and you're still like able to play your sport. Like it's a whole nother layer of difficulty that I find interesting.
I'm gonna drop some facts on you guys.
Hit me.
My cousin's in a semi-professional hockey league.
That's lit.
Not even joking. He's really good though.
My-
And it's weird. It is like I've been to games before, and it's like I don't know what's going on. That dude just got decked, but he's still going. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're not really on the ice for that long, which is interesting. Average hockey player will play in like a 1.5 minute stint, and it's like they can only go for so long because it takes so much energy. That's why they're just constantly swapping them out. Just fascinating. There's no other sport where you can only play for a minute and then you literally have to stop. You physically cannot do it.
How long's a boxing round? A round.
Like the two.
It kind of depends.
Those are like 5 minutes,
Okay.
and then they do them 12 times.
See,
That's crazy.
my uncle.
That's an hour of boxing.
My uncle is also really big into like he's played hockey his whole life. He still is in like a league. They play, you know, it's not as serious,
Like
but
a rec league or
yeah. And his son, my cousin, is also like my cousin did a bunch of different sports. He's like a little younger than me, but he did a bunch of different sports, and like he settled on hockey finally as like the thing he wants to do. And then personally, I'm glad because that was the game. Those are the games I liked watching the most when I would go to see him. Yeah, and he's really good at it and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy.
One thing about like certain sports when you watch them is enjoyability factor. Like watching certain sports is boring beyond belief. Like some sports you don't even really have to know a lot of knowledge. Like hockey live is a blast. You're just like hit that guy, hit him, hit him.
That was me at the last Phantoms game I saw.
It's like what's the score? I don't even know what that means. What with the blue line, the red line? Just punch him. And then you're watching like golf and you're like, well, and baseball's even worse.
Ooh,
Like-
Zach's gonna weigh in on this one
Like
hard.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
all right, Zach.
I'm not very.
bring it
Interested.
in.
I
Punch
don't
him.
think
Punch him.
baseball's fun to watch either.
I don't care what other people think about the things I like. It doesn't bother me.
That's not
Hey.
exciting, Zach. Get
so
angrier.
here's the thing. Like if you can't watch pitching and find it exciting, then you shouldn't just don't watch baseball. You know what I mean? Like I can get really excited when somebody throws a sick slider and be like, "Oh my God, how is that even physically possible that after a certain amount of feet, the ball just automatically changes direction?"
Isn't that the one where it'll like slide all the way down through
Yes. Yeah.
a box?
Yeah.
A box?
That I do find kind of interesting.
Like
not interesting.
These people figured out a way for the ball to be completely straight, and then as soon as it gets to the batter, it just falls.
Oh, what was the New York closer?
Babe Ruth.
He did pitch, actually, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, he
I
did
didn't know
pitch.
that.
He would pitch and hit in games.
Like the same, like he'd throw it and then run to the plate. And
Yeah, it was crazy. He actually played the entire field, both teams. He was great. That's why he's the best ever.
Is it true that Babe Ruth actually, like today, by today's standards, up against like other players today, he's not actually that great?
Probably
Yeah.
not. I mean, pitching is so much better now than it used to be.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a
how sports
weird
goes.
thing.
Well,
no,
but
that's
it's
not the
not
same for
weird.
like football, really.
Yes, it is.
I mean, kind of, but it's not like the act of.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like
a little
baseball
different.
has like weird like you were saying about like pitching and stuff, like weird techniques that are like that have developed over the
It's
years.
been boiled down to the essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have to mess around with. They warm those guys up perfectly. They teach them perfectly. It's down to a science, and that's why the games take so long. It's like watching a science experiment because everything is just boiled down to the core of the sport. And I think people get a little bored with that. Like I'm not
No, listen, I don't care, man.
It's
you
not
like what you like, and you don't like what you don't.
A lot of people, I think, loved the non-perfectness of baseball. You know, like I don't know.
No, that
it's
makes
just
sense.
so
I get what you're
clean
saying.
now. There's no fluff.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just so.
And there's not as much steroids.
Yeah. Well, if we're being honest
well,
here.
Well, that
knows?
there was a recent case, wasn't there? Where they were like,
There's recent cases all the time.
Yeah.
and betting, like
Yeah.
players betting and stuff. Yeah, that's not good.
What's his name? P. Rose.
Yeah, you should.
He
He
should
has a legitimate problem.
Yeah.
Like,
he should
I
be
feel
in the Hall
bad
of Fame.
because I don't remember exactly what was said. It was a couple years ago when like he started showing up on games again and he was doing broadcasts and stuff. And like he was doing an interview and somebody was like, you know, if they would let you in as long as you agreed to, because he still bets on games, and they're like, if you would agree to just not bet on games and they would let you in, would you take that? And he said no. So like he clearly has a problem.
That's crazy.
He clearly has a gambling
or he
addiction.
makes a lot of money.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know what to tell you, buddy, but if you want to be in that bad, then
Betting is so bad.
no, I think he's like 100% addicted, hardcore.
Don't gamble.
I think anyone who
very unhealthy.
gambles for that long is probably has an issue with it. I mean, like, I don't
It's
know.
the same. It's the mental addiction that goes along with all other mental addictions.
Yeah.
I mean, and if he's in that hard that he won't give it up, then he was probably throwing games as a player and a coach.
Oh, all the
Yeah.
time, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh, man. That's not
Well, okay.
baseball.
If
Who thought we were going to talk about this for this long?
Me, I
The
didn't.
boring sport.
NBA, it's better than it's ever been. Right
Because
now.
of the magnets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen.
Look, man, they attract balls. They attract viewers. What's wrong?
How do you feel about
dumb.
like esports getting more viewers than some NBA games? That's like a statistic that's
Me?
that's very constantly cited.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love both. I love basketball. I love esports, and both are growing at a high rate. So I'm down. I don't really care about esports beating anybody. I mean, the NBA is growing. Esports are growing. NFL, which is very bad for everybody involved, is dying. And I know that sounds terrible, but
Even baseball is growing.
Really?
is it now?
Who'd
is
have
it,
thunk
is it
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
I think it's because they fixed some stuff, right? It's not like 4-hour games anymore.
No, yeah. I mean, I haven't been able to keep up with baseball in like 2 years. When I moved, I cut cable, so I don't know what's going on at all. But they've made some minor changes to help speed things up. But
Esports. Whatever happened with Overwatch League? I watched for a week and then got.
I watched for a
still
few
going.
weeks. It's still gone. Yeah, it's. I think probably next season they're gonna fix a lot of the. At least I hope they'll fix a lot of the reasons that I didn't keep up. Like, because it was essentially if you didn't have time to watch every game for 4 days straight, then you would start to get lost and you wouldn't know what's going on.
that's
as much.
baseball, by the way.
I got
Yeah.
lost like 30 minutes into a match,
You know, it is weird.
and I'm not super competitive.
I think there's some fundamental flaws in how Overwatch is like, just how it's played that makes it kind of boring.
I see. I wasn't that bored. I was pretty.
You're the only one in this room who's not bored. By
No, I
esports.
think
Weird.
no, I think it's interesting, and I've seen Overwatch League matches. It's just really weird. I think they try to apply Overwatch into a traditional sports setup for a league. And
I
it doesn't
love that
really-
part though.
I
You don't like that part?
I think it's
the
interesting.
arena's awesome. I think the fact they have consistent people showing up and then they're like in the shots and you can see people like live being there and enjoying it. I think that's cool, but I don't know. I think it's weird. I don't think like
It doesn't fit.
it doesn't. Yeah.
You have to understand though, this is the start of a new sport. Like whether you,
What do you
Who
mean? This
cares
isn't
where
the
you are on the?
There's like
It is,
there
but this is the
It
first.
is in a way. Like this is it's so much bigger now, and it's moving at a rate that's so much higher than it ever has.
Yeah. And it's so different. It's so different from anything that we've experienced before. It's not like another kind of baseball is like starting up or like another kind of like contact physical sport or something like that. Like it's a whole new beast on some digital level on a digital platform. Like none of it has ever been seen before. So there's going to be probably, and it's not going to stop now. What?
Some bumps.
Yeah, there's going to be growing pains and there's going to be bumps and obstacles along the road.
I actually hope. I don't like watching Overwatch as much as CS:GO
You know, CS:GO
personally because CS:GO is so easy to understand.
Yeah.
There's 5 guys, there's one objective, and it's slow.
It's like
There's very strategic,
5 guys attacking, 5 guys defending.
and it's so much fun to
They all
watch.
do like the same thing.
Yeah, they all do the same thing.
I mean, not really.
And
but
it's
yeah.
easy to watch because they're moving around when you see the things you need to see. And so the skill level's so high.
And the maps like make sense. There's not like most of the maps are really straightforward, and it's just like here's 2 doorways, and this is where these guys are gonna come in. So if this dude's standing here, you can see this doorway. But on Overwatch, it's like,
and there's some
all right,
really.
I'm gonna flank left side. You go high right side. Try and get high ground. I'm gonna like go behind them and like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like there's classic moments too. It's like the 4-op moment where they went down middle with the 4 ops.
That was.
I'll never
first
forget
of all,
that.
That was B. That wasn't mid. That was apartments on B. Cold Zera. Jumping collateral. What are you talking about?
Those 4 apps down mid.
Oh, you're talking about Fnatic. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about something else.
Pat's got the stats, dude.
I do.
See me personally.
I can't say anything about Overwatch. Remember the stat. So I love all of you.
Oh, later,
Bye-bye,
Storm. Love you. Storm's leaving. Storm's got to go to.
Do I get a hug too?
He's got to go to a baseball game. He's got to go rig an NBA game.
I don't get a hug. Wow.
Well, he can't hug you over the table.
He can go.
Yeah.
There's a door.
Punch the mic. All right. Bye, Storm. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your sports segment. Appreciate the input in the Flat Earth segment. Always would love to have you on again to talk about how pro Flat Earth you are.
Yeah, anything you can do to flatten that Earth, man.
I always bring a different flavor in here.
Good. That's his closing statement. And you'll never see him again. He'll be back. You heard it here first. He said he'll be back.
Finally.
Oh my God, I couldn't wait for him to leave. See, me personally though, I come from the school of Halo and like competitive Halo. I grew up. Well, that was the first esports I ever saw. You know, I grew up watching like Halo 2 tournaments being televised on USA, on TV and stuff, and being a kid, being like, oh, I want to do that when I get older. Like that's what I want. You know. So
that was exciting back then. Like that
was.
was the time I think when I would have been most interested in getting into it.
Yeah.
Because right now when I watch esports, I'm just like, I want to play now, and that's sort of what ends up happening instead.
It's weird because I think Overwatch is like changing the format that most esports follow. At least it seems like, where there's like, if there's a league, it's online and they just play matches. So it's like if I just want to watch Counter-Strike being played, I'd do that. But then there's like events where it's like, here's 3 days. It's gonna have the top like 8 teams in the world. And they're just going to play, and one of them is going to win. Then I'm like, this is cool. I want to watch all of this.
See, that's how Halo was, too.
Yeah.
I think the difference between, I don't know, I think I'm more accustomed to, so like the LCS, for example, for League of Legends, hate it. Like, hate the MOBA side of esports because I think from where my roots are, it's just so drastically different to an unenjoyable level. Like Halo is very high intensity, fast paced. I understood everything. I knew the faces very well. And I think another thing is that most of the personalities and players from Halo, I think it stands to reason that there was really some magic there with that original kind of thing that they were doing with Halo. And that really jump-started MLG as well, Halo.
It was just exciting. It was not something that I ever expected to see. Even back then, I was young and whatever. But like just turning on the TV and Ogre 1's there, and it's like, whoa,
yes,
it's the television. This is real.
You have Karma, Ogre 1 and 2, T Squared.
Saiyan wasn't holding up his own.
That's not Optic Karma, is it?
No, he wanted to go by Bad Karma, but I think Bad Karma was taken or too long or something.
The thing, I think it stands, the fact that a lot of the Halo pros have managed to stand the test of time, even till now, there's still a lot of them that are active in other games or big streamer personalities or whatever, like Ninja. I think that goes a lot to say, one of my constant contentions with the other esports leagues, especially the MOBAs, is that those players do not have the personality and the hype that the Halo pros used to. You know, like when you were watching an event and whether it's televised or you're watching a stream or whatever, like those guys were just heated like all the time, like craziness, like standing up and screaming at each other from across the room when something crazy happened. Just like that kind of dynamic. Like those guys, a lot of them were just had really hype personalities that fit that kind of bill of like the pros, you know, they had that pro kind of all-star kind of thing. And I don't see that a lot in Overwatch. The people who are as good as those kind of all-star stats are very like introverted and quiet, you know, and I don't know. It's just, it's a different scene now, I feel like. And I really miss the old days of like when Halo was on top, because I feel like it was making a lot of strides to have something be exciting, have that kind of thing be exciting.
I mean, I think for League, though, that's like, it's weird for them to get hype because that's a thing that, like, once the game starts, they can't stop playing until it ends. There's no, like, rounds. There's no, like, downtime. It's like if they make a huge play, they probably have to go, like, farm something or capture an objective or, like, go to towers or something. And they have to, like, do it right away or else they're wasting time. So they don't have time to be, like, I don't know, that was a big deal. We should, like, get super hype. Like, they feel hype. They just can't express it a ton because they're still playing the game constantly.
I agree. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying that in terms, like, I feel like a constant argument that went on back in the day when I know Halo was, like, in its process of, being an esport and stuff like that. And then Call of Duty kind of took over after Halo 4 came out because it sucked and they got rid of it on the pro circuit. But a constant thing was like, oh, well, it's boring, or like old people don't get it, or even the people who do like the games is like,
it's so much easier to get and to follow than something like Overwatch or MOBA, though, at this point.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Even old people can just sort of watch it and understand the basic concept of what's trying to be done.
And appreciate the showmanship and things like that. Like, they had that on lock, And, yeah, that's something that I feel like the new leagues are really missing. That kind of accessibility and excitement. Because even in CSGO, like, it's there, but not at that level. And CSGO is, as you guys said, a slower kind of paced game. It's more strategic and stuff. It's like...
It's still very fun to watch.
People get really hype in CSGO. How much do you watch?
I used to watch back when I was playing CSGO a lot. Like, then I was watching a lot of the pro leagues.
So, I mean,
and
some
stuff.
tournaments, the big moments, are, like, really exciting. Like, people, like, getting out of the chairs and, like, screaming and stuff. Not like they don't scream at each other, but it's like they're just super excited. Or even like when something bad happens, like people just like you can like feel how bad it was for them.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know. I feel like my time's definitely over. I feel like whenever I'm involved watching a lot of esports is because I'm like playing that game actively. And it's weird.
That's how I am with streams.
Yeah, it's weird to not be playing that game and just be like watching it. I usually use the game, like back when I was competing hardcore for Call of Duty and stuff, and like scrimming every day, and we were practicing every day and doing game battles and the league and stuff. In Black Ops 2, we would, whenever we weren't playing, we'd all get together as a team and we would just watch streams. That was when Optic was doing its, what was it, how many... It was like road to how many wins or something in league play consecutively, like in a row. They couldn't drop a game or they'd have to reset. Wow. Like, we watched that whole, series almost as a team. And, because we'd be breaking down what they're doing and like analyzing and stuff. So that's really why I would watch a lot of the esports, is because it would be supplementing kind of me improving.
It's also the only reason I watch streams, really.
Yeah. Because there's, new perspectives and stuff you can get. Speaking of streams, if you're into that, we're going to be doing a lot of that very soon.
We will.
We're revving a lot of that up. That's going along with a lot of the big moves we're making soon.
Always soon, right around the corner. It's always right around the corner.
It's probably going to be this week.
Probably
so
actually really soon, yeah.
Keep your eye out this week. We're probably going to be announcing it finally because things are finally settled. But anyway.
Speaking of Halo...
Yeah, speaking of Halo, I finally got a chance to play video games lately because there's a video game that has made me want to set aside time to actually play it now. And it's Halo Online, which has had some tumultuous, wow, everything's way brighter with these WXLV sunglasses
crazy
off.
What happens when you take sunglasses off.
But... Halo Online's had a weird, tumultuous kind of start. It was made by a modding team from the assets of a canceled Halo PC project, and any Halo fans have been waiting for a PC port of Halo since Halo 2 on Vista.
Bye, Josh. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for putting up with us.
Which came out in like 2003 or 2004 or something.
Wait a second. Is there a co-op in this?
No. Like campaign? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. So essentially this modding team made... they finished this unfinished canceled project using Microsoft's assets, And due to that, Microsoft, by legal obligation, has had to make it very hard for people to obtain this game through downloads. So they've been trying to DMCA take down a lot of the download links on the internet to the video game, and as well as having streamers get temporarily banned on Twitch and stuff for streaming the game. It's not illegal to play the game or possess the game or anything like that. It's just that due to copyright reasons, and because Microsoft owns the Halo franchise, in order to retain your copyright, you essentially have to exercise
at least pretend to put up a fight.
Yeah, so they can't just let people make a game using stuff that they own. That was from an actual project, because that project that got canceled, it was never put out to the public as oh, this is abandonware and do whatever you want with it. It was it got canceled. They somehow procured the files for it and then started to build their own version of the game from it. So that's not cool, and you can't do that. And even though 343 Industries has said that they're totally cool with people doing it, they like the project and it was really sick that they took the time to do that, it's still legally not cool. But what I hope will happen, and what whispers are of what would make the most sense, this makes the most sense. Microsoft did not want to make a PC port of a Halo game for 10 years plus because for whatever reason. I don't know why. The audience was there. They, for some reason, didn't want to do it. So someone else, another team, did it for free. They did free work and made this game that is very functional, and there are now a lot of people on it, and there's clearly a very verbal outcry of wanting this game to stay, wanting to be able to have something like this. So it would make the most sense for Microsoft to go to the El Duito team, who's the modding team that made the title, and say, hey, let's finish the game together. We'll fund you a little bit. We'll actually make this a sanctioned project, and we'll release it, give it an official hearty release, That would make the most sense. The game is virtually already finished. All Microsoft has to come in and do is just take credit and then profit from something that I've heard many people across the internet say they would absolutely pay $60 for this game. And I would too.
Yeah, it's like everybody said the same thing about Vanilla WoW servers.
Yeah.
And now that's actually happening.
Because if the consumers want something, it's usually a good idea to give it to them. That's how the markets should work. So I don't know why there was so much apprehension on Microsoft's part.
They have stats up for El Dorito has stats up on 4 days worth of playing the mod, and there's 200,000 games played in 4 days. Crazy.
So with those stats, and then maybe combining the potential success of the Vanilla WoW servers,
they could end up doing too. I didn't know about this until Chandler told me yesterday.
Right. That's what's cool about it too.
Yeah,
it's a little added, ooh, it's all weird and secretive almost. You kind of had to hunt for the links. They're getting more and more scarce, but. Yeah, it's just, I actually played this mod about a year ago before it had no networking, anything, you couldn't play really together. It was just the bare bones, this is a thing they're doing, and here you can download the files and just kind of go around the maps and see what's going on, and the engine and stuff. And it was really cool. I was really excited. And I never thought they would get to this point as quickly as they did.
It feels finished. I played some last night. It feels
smooth.
Really good.
Yeah, it's smooth. I played it 2 nights ago, much to Lizzie's dismay as she watched.
Why did she watch?
She didn't watch. She was just sitting in the same room with me.
Doesn't she have hobbies?
She just watched TV while I played and was yelling at my monitor.
Was it Friends?
What?
Did you watch Friends?
No. No. She actually watched Bob's Burgers, which isn't funny. Yeah, and I hate that she likes that show.
Sam has watched that entire show.
My sisters love that show.
It's so bad. Archer is so better.
Thing.
Maybe.
Archer is so much better than Bob's Burgers.
I don't watch a lot of I haven't seen Archer.
It's really good. You should watch it.
It is the same main character, H. John Benjamin.
Yeah, I love H. John Benjamin, and if I had to pick an H. John Benjamin show to keep and get rid of the rest, it'd be Archer for sure. But I'm so excited you actually knew the name of him. Josh has not left yet, actually, believe it or not. Oh, Josh is getting his tripod that he almost left here again. So I've had Josh's tripod since yesterday because we actually did a photo shoot yesterday for a friend of ours.
A previous guest?
Danny
Yates?
Danny Yates, who's now going by, I believe he's going to go by Crazy Yates. He's a musician. He's coming out with a hot new single, which is dropping very shortly.
I think he has multiple songs to drop. No? Yes?
He's working on the second officially. And I heard the beat to it. He hasn't put lyrics on yet, but it's super cool. I'm really excited to see what he does with that. I was bumping his other song in the car yesterday, and it was super, super good. The levels are great. He mixed and mastered it so perfect.
He's always working on this stuff. Every time I see him, he's always making new songs.
He's dedicated for sure. And I'm really excited for the new song. Actually, that photo shoot and what he's doing as a musician is tying a lot into the stuff we have coming up to announce. And I really want to talk about it, but we shouldn't. I want to keep it all on the same page.
Secret for at least a couple more weeks.
I just don't want to I want the announcement to be all at once, I don't want to trickle in oh, well, we said it on the podcast on Monday and then we officially announced it Thursday. I don't know. But yeah, probably by the next show, we'll be able to talk about it in grave detail.
Wow.
But this photo shoot was super fun. Danny had to really take one for the team for it. It was a very weird shoot.
Really saucy shoot.
Very saucy. We went on an adventure the 2 nights before the shoot to somehow acquire enough tomato sauce, ragu sauce, to use for this shoot, which involved going to Costco right before it closed.
I think it closed at 8:30 and we walked in at 8:24.
Yeah. And me and Pat were running through the store looking for, somehow you guys found the sauce before us.
We went the wrong direction.
Yeah, we did not know we were going.
But you guys followed the food sign. You saw up in the sky, it said food.
That made sense.
Yeah, and you went, a big mistake.
Big mistake. I've never been in a Costco until then. That was the first time I was ever in a Costco.
You were baffled. We were walking, and they have the shelves where it's multiple stories and shelves. And Shannon was like, "What if I want that?" One at the top. I was like, "How do I get it?"
This is not good supply and demand. So we ended up meeting a gentleman, without mentioning any names, but it was funny because I was not in. We were shooting the behind the scenes for the shoot, at the time still, the prep for it and stuff. So we're filming, we're acting stupid, and then we meet somebody who is a very serious
businessman,
businessman of renown, and so we were talking to him for a while. It took me a little too long to realize that it was who he was really, and it was a little too late because I was already saying things I was just being an idiot.
Already apologizing for the fact that he was a part of something really big or something like that.
I was they're like, who's in charge here? And they were like, oh, Chandler is. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not qualified. Just stuff like that. And I didn't realize it was so bad.
And then the middle of this conversation, Pat had no idea this was going on, and he just walks by into the group with probably 25 pounds of...
for 7 cans, 35 pounds.
35 pounds of tomato sauce, just barely holding on to it.
Yeah. And so that was funny. Made a really great impression on him. For some reason said he still wants to talk, so I don't know. Yeah. He's like, here's my email. But yeah, so then we had the shoot yesterday. Lizzie and I drove Danny, because Danny lives 5 minutes away from me. He actually lives right next to my old elementary school that I went to, which is funny. Fun. He has a really cute pit bull as well. Really cute.
Do you know the pit bull's name?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool
Mr.
name.
Worldwide?
Oh, it's Dante.
Shout out to Dante.
Dante.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, he's really cute. And we drove out to the shoot, and it was unfortunately so cold yesterday.
And windy.
It was cold and windy and overcast, and the nature of this shoot involved Danny being in shorts and a t-shirt, and he had to get sauce thrown all over him. And the sauce was very cold. It was very cold out. It was just, I felt so bad for him. He was shivering.
He was shaking. Yeah, as soon as the sauce got on him.
Yeah. So we had little time to work with once we started throwing the sauce on him to get all the shots we needed for the shoot and get out. That was probably the most, for something that seems so guerrilla. I mean, it was a very guerrilla style shoot, but there was a lot of prep that is almost not apparent
Yeah.
Like, you probably wouldn't think of how much prep we had to go through. I mean, we had a tarp down and everything. We were very considerate of the space we were in.
That's the nature of the business.
Yeah. It's just weird. I'm used to, back when I was in high school and stuff, you're doing a shoot. It's just like, oh, dude, you just like go wherever and you just do it and you kind of get out.
Did you do anything like this, though, in the same sort of way?
Not like this, no. I mean, I would do we would do vlogs or we filmed some skits and stuff. And those were always like unofficial. Like, we would never tell the people like where we were. If it was like on a certain property, we wouldn't like mention it to anybody or like get it approved. We would just like go do it and then like leave really quick, like stuff like that. Not a great way to roll, but this was very official. Josh secured the location. He emailed the owners of the property, made sure it was kosher with them and all that. And we had a lot of prep, getting all the cans of sauce ready. We had to mix it and dilute it a lot.
We bought tomato paste, not like actual tomato sauce. So tomato paste, it's just like tomato jelly, basically.
Yeah.
And we had to water it down with a lot of Arizona iced tea.
Yeah, because we ran out of water, actually. That's how much water we needed to dilute it. So we just started diluting it with Arizona iced tea.
I spent most of my time just mixing pasta.
Yeah. And it's, but it turned out great, honestly. I was surprised.
The shots look great. Yeah.
I was like, there was some moments where I was like, oh man, I don't know.
Because listen,
know
like
if
if these shots don't look good, and then we put Danny through what we put Danny through, that's not cool, man.
Yeah. The interesting nature of the shoot is, I mean, there's a lot of juicy behind the scenes stuff. So that video is going to be out in the near future. No idea. I'm not even going to say anything about when it could be out, but we filmed the behind the scenes all on iPhone cameras. And I think a Samsung S8 or S9 or something, S9 camera as well. And they're beautiful. I don't think anyone's going to be able to tell, honestly.
They will now. Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. But yeah, it was so BTS will be out for that, and the photo shoot you should be seeing. I'm sure it's going to be all over Instagram and stuff. When the song comes out, that's also going to be the cover art for the single. So when the song comes out on Spotify and SoundCloud and iTunes and stuff like that, you'll be able to see that work. And I'm sure we're going to be blowing it up on our Instagrams and stuff like that too. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a really interesting first photo shoot that we've done in the vein that we're going to be doing a lot more in the future. And I think really challenged ourselves right off the bat to do something that as ambitious as this.
It couldn't have been something simple, could it?
Yeah, of course not. We couldn't have just found a nice car or something and made him pose next to it. Like,
not have tomato sauce.
Well, the song's called Ragu. So of course we're going to jump right to just getting absolutely crazy.
It was his idea, right?
Yeah. I think Pat kind of planted a seed a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I think he just passively mentioned it, and then you started really thinking about it and running with it, and you're like, yeah, encouraging him more, and then it really came real very quickly for what he wanted to do. Because I think we made it seem very plausible, not like a very far-fetched idea that he had.
Well, I mean, we did it, so.
We did do it, and it came out really cool. And I was posting something I've really enjoyed doing on my Snapchat, especially for my stories or my Instagram stories, is taking weird out of context pictures of the aftermath of a shoot like that, or us setting something like that up, and no context, and then just see what people say. So people were messaging me like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" Because I don't show them actually enough to where they can piece it together. I just keep them what is
some of the behind the scenes shots we got where it's just the set and the tarp and the couch and the equipment, and Danny's not there, but just everything's covered in sauce. Some of those shots are the best.
Yeah. And so I just love doing that to people because it's going to make it so much cooler when you fully announce it. I love the tease so much.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm going to probably be doing a lot more of that in the future. I hope you guys are excited for Danny Ace's new song, which we'll probably be playing on the show. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to do a clean cut of that or something, but...
That's true. I don't know if he has a clean version.
Well, no, we can do that. It's fine.
We'll do it live.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
Well,
and this is actually... This is finals week, which is crazy because it seems like this was far less time that passed in between. Because you remember last semester?
Yeah.
That took forever.
Yeah.
Last semester was so long,
yep.
and now all of a sudden this is over.
I feel like I can remember each of those shows individually.
Yeah. And now it's becoming a blur.
We missed a lot of time too this semester.
We did. We had a lot of days for weather and stuff like that. But it's crazy because I remember the show we did during finals week last semester was with Caddy and Isaac.
Yep.
That was like our end of semester kind of deal.
That was like 3 months ago.
It feels so long ago. And so this is the end of this semester. Finals week are coming up. Just found out we have a photography final due tomorrow, not Thursday, which I initially thought.
Perfect.
So I'm very excited to be doing that all night tonight.
Well, why not?
I thought they're playing Halo Online tonight.
I don't know if I can now because I have to go take a few pictures with Lizzie after I get out of here. But if I can, I'll probably be up because I don't have anywhere to. Well, I do, but I don't have to be at that final until 2. So I should have time. I want to play tonight. So yeah. It's just crazy how much time has passed. Probably the next time I don't know when the renovations are actually starting.
Tice told me 3 weeks from now. I talked to him today. He said 3 weeks.
So we're going to be in this studio for at least 3 more shows, probably, which is nice. Then we have a big move coming up.
No idea what to expect.
No idea where we're going to be.
Closet, classroom.
We're going to be.
Doesn't work. 1 mic, 2 mics. Who knows?
4 mics, maybe.
We're going to be displaced. We're going to be WXLV refugees.
Yep.
We're going to be drifting throughout campus, trying to see where we can do the show.
Oh, if we had a mobile studio, that'd be kind of cool.
Dude.
Even though nobody would be here in the summer.
It's like on a cart, and we just like someone pushes us around.
You get this awful like rattle the whole
time. And people just like yelling at us passively that we're near. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. It's a little scary. I have no idea what to expect. And hope you guys are as excited as we are for everything coming up. And keep an eye out for the announcements coming very, very soon. Lots of new forms of content that's going to be on the channel. And new things that we're doing that are not just video or entertainment related. More streams on Twitch. And music stuff coming up as well. There's some new faces, new permanent faces that you're going to meet, some of which you know already, some of which are going to be a little more surprising. But yeah, all that.
On that note, we should probably wrap up.
Absolutely.
Any important places you want to shout out?
Go watch the Danny Yates episode of the Poorly Edited podcast. I don't remember what episode number that was, but I think it might be called The Zanger. I don't actually know. Or Danny Yates.
The Zanger.
Go check that one out.
Is it actually called The Zanger?
No, I think that's what like the audio file name was.
Yeah, that's funny. Go check out Poorly Edited Podcast on Instagram. Follow all of our social media like Twitter, Instagram, sub on YouTube and stuff like that. Poorly Edited Podcast for everything. And shortly that will change. Like the name of all those accounts are going to change. Don't be alarmed, but that's what's going to happen when we rebrand. That's what it means. So you're going to be seeing new logos and new names for everything, but just sit tight. We're going to make it hopefully a very smooth transition. That's why it's taking so long to do this, because we want to make sure we're doing it right. So, and all at once to not confuse anybody. So keep an eye out for that. And Sly Elliott on everything else. Instagram.
Any final words?
Not really. Come down to the station and get your WXLV sunglasses, and yeah, keep an eye out for everything we're doing. Coming very soon. Super excited. You guys don't even know. You're not even gonna know. You don't even know what to expect. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of it. We really appreciate it. This has been by far one of the most rocky shows we've had this semester. It was crazy. We had the technical difficulties for the commercial breaks, which we just did one total show all the way through with no commercial breaks because it wasn't working. We just couldn't have commercials run for some reason. Yeah, it's just crazy. Our guest canceled on us pretty much as well, which is why everything got so messed up because we weren't prepared for that. So, yeah, dude, it's super lit. Yeah.
All right. And then, thanks for listening. Good night.
Thanks for listening. Good night. Drive safe. Have a good time.